The conflict between Percy and Clarisse in the second episode of the Percy Jackson series is my favourite subplot of the entire episode. It does exceptionally well at world building, moving the narrative forward, introducing characters, and as a storytelling device, combat is used exceptionally. My name is Alex Eagleton, I'm a poet and an author, and I am currently hyperfixating on the Percy Jackson TV show that is currently being streamed on Disney, so come join me as I continue my dives into various aspects. Today we are talking about Percy and Clarisse. And before we go any further, a spoiler warning for the first 2 episodes of the season. I will not be having any book spoilers because I'm not using the books as information for these analyses. However, spoiler warning for the TV show and everything that's been released up to now. When we think about conflict between Percy and Clarisse, our thought immediately goes, oh yeah, the fight and capture the flag. But no, let's start at the start. The first interaction we have between them tells us so much about both characters. One, we see that Clarisse is a bully, but she also understands how conflict dynamics work, and she can understand the people around her. Percy, easy target. Luke, not an easy target, not a guaranteed win, not going to touch that. We also learn that, one, she doesn't believe that Percy defeated the Minotaur, and she doesn't like that he's lying about it. And understanding that is crucial to understanding Clarisse in any of these interactions. It's her primary motivator because she doesn't believe Percy is telling the truth. Their second interaction is much more interesting, and it's the bathroom scene, we all know it, and it, again, tells us so much about these characters. Clarisse, again, being a bully, is trying to haze this kid, but she, again, demonstrates that her primary motivation here is to get Percy to admit to a lie. She doesn't believe that he's defeated the Minotaur because he is small, a nobody, and it's a feat that no one should have been able to achieve at his age. So she doesn't think he's telling the truth. But more than that, she thinks he's trying to get glory, to get people to think that he's special. And that's very key because Clarisse has worked for years and years and years. We can tell by the beads on her necklace that she's worked a long time to get to the position of power that she's in. She's fought, she's trained, and she's earned herself a lot of glory. And what she won't stand for is some kid coming in and trying to usurp that position with made-up lies. But what we learn about Percy is that, no, we're not going to accept that. He's indignant and stubborn and is going, no, I did do what I did. I did defeat the Minotaur, and I'm going to stand by that, and I'm not going to let someone bully me into a false lie. The most important thing for me is Clarisse's motivations here have become moral for her. The lie and the attempt of Percy to get glory and recognition sits so badly in her that she has to do something about it. She can't just ignore it. Partially because it threatens her, but also because there is, I believe, a moral sense to it. We learn something about her. That's where her morals are. Then Percy explodes the bathroom. Doesn't get subjected to that humiliation that Clarisse is feeling in her own insecurities. And in fact, he douses everyone in toilet water, which is gross. And Clarisse is left furious and humiliated, and her drive for justice has not been fulfilled. So we know it's going to come back, and it does. Their final interaction is the fight in Capture the Flag. And we know that Percy's motivations going into this are, don't fuck up and try to get my dad's attention. He says this to Annabeth. He also knows he is vastly outmatched by pretty much everyone around him because it's his second day on the job. For Clarisse, she demonstrates her intentions and her motivations very, very quickly. Yes, she cares about the glory, and yes, she cares about winning the game, but most importantly, she wants revenge. Percy's humiliated her, she's not going to stand for that. And then, after a short bout that demonstrates Percy's entirely outmatched, exactly as he thought, Clarisse returns to her primary motivator, which is, I just want you to admit the lie. She doesn't care about maiming and or killing him, she just wants him to admit the lie. And that, again, it's this sense of morality for Clarisse. Percy sees he's outmatched, isn't going to admit the lie because he's stubborn and indignant, so he runs. And honestly, fair cops to Percy, he runs, it's a safe move. I respect it. And then, after a brief chase sequence, we make it through to the shore of the creek. And this is where everything kind of happens. Percy is cornered, he is outmatched, and he is left with only sword. He's lost his shield. And Clarisse, having him surrounded with her siblings, laughs. Because yes, she is going to get what she wants. She's going to get the revenge, and then she's going to be able to run off and grab the flag, and she's going to get everything she wants, and it's going to be fun. Because she's a bully, okay? She's a bully, I'm not denying it. Not only is she a bully, she is humiliated and insecure, and we can see that. So they attack. And inexplicably, Percy doesn't die immediately, or is it immediately incapacitated. He defends, and is able to hold them off long enough to grab his shield. And at this point, everyone is confused. How has he done this? This kid has no training. He has no godly parent that we know. How is he managing to fight off 3 seasoned and skilled warriors? No one knows, everyone's confused. And then it keeps happening. Percy is able to take out Clarisse's 2 siblings reasonably quickly once the battle restarts, and then he's able to disarm and break Clarisse's magic spear, something she is obviously very proud of and loves. And this doesn't make sense to anyone, and Clarisse is furious, and we can see that the way she gets up and grabs him in her fist and is about to pound him. And the only thing that saves Percy is Luke winning the game. And in that moment, Clarisse realises that not only has she not achieved these goals of getting revenge on Percy and winning the game, but she was tricked out of it and has since been humiliated even further by Percy beating her in combat. In this moment, we understand that Percy is, when pushed to his limit, capable of incredible things. This isn't the first time we've seen it. We saw it with the Minotaur as well, and this is the second time when he's cornered and trapped, and he's been able to dip into his immense and inherent skill and power to overcome forces he should not be able to. And that really is the first inkling for us that his godly parent should be someone more important, should be a larger one. As an audience, we aren't told or given any real explanation for why Percy is capable of these feats before he does them. But then, as he stands in the river after Annabeth pushed him and heals, Poseidon claims him. And that immediately justifies everything that we saw beforehand. We can understand, oh, this is a lot of power for this kid because his father is one of the 3 most powerful gods. It makes sense. But nonetheless, Percy remains untrained and unskilled, and throughout the entire combat is outmatched until he is in desperate need of that power. Even when Clarisse has him in her hands, the position's lost. He has no chance of escaping that. He cannot utilize that power because he is untrained and because he is unskilled. And what is Percy able to get from this? He proves himself worthy of Poseidon's recognition and claiming, and gets claimed. The reason this conflict between Percy and Clarisse works so well throughout the episode is because there are expectations and motivations and characters built, and all of them are met and satisfied. We understand who Clarisse is and why she's doing things. We understand who Percy is and why he's doing things. And the consequences we get at the end make sense. And we understand how we got here. And if we didn't, justification is immediately given. The storytelling device of combat is used so well throughout this episode, and it's just exceptional to see. I'm really excited by it. It does everything we need it to do, and I hope that they can continue to use it so effectively throughout the rest of the season. thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts about it. If you'd like to hear more of my thoughts, something a bit more frequent, check out my TikTok. Most of my Percy Jackson stuff is on my TikTok. But if you want to see some of my other stuff, go to my Instagram. All of it's Eagles Palette. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you next time.